It's your boy, Jeff Jones.
It's the upset specialist, Thomas Boykin.
Always and forever, Mr. Michael Jones.
And this is 234 Sports Talk. Let's talk about it.
Let's get it.
All right, fellas, last night, national championship game, Georgia versus TCU. And you all watched the game. It was a total beatdown. Matter of fact, I'm going to put it this way. Georgia took TCU's lunch money. Took it.
In our military background, they took them out for woodside counseling. They took them out to the tree line counseling.
They took them out there. Fellas, as you watched this game, what went through your mind? I really thought that it was going to be competitive. What went through your mind as you watched this game?
I'm going to be honest with y'all. That was the most uncompetitive national championship game I ever saw in my life. I mean, it wasn't even like they was out there trying. Yeah, they had one receiver that had 7 catches for like a dime and some change, but Duggan ran for their only touchdown. Their offense was stagnant. Georgia just completely shut them completely down. I mean, it wasn't giving them no room to breathe, which, kudos to Georgia's defense. But, I mean, come on. You just got done beating Michigan playing football, which Michigan ain't no slouch squad. And you come out here against Georgia and act like you don't know what you're doing. That don't make sense to me. It really doesn't. And I don't know. Maybe the moment was too big. Maybe it wasn't. But when you get your chances, which we all know, when you get your chances, you got to take your chances. And if you don't show up in your chance, who knows if you're going to get that chance again. So I don't know what happened to them. They just look, in the words of Charles Barkley, they just look terrible. What you got on it, MJ?
Hi, Mr. Charles Barkley, number 2. But that's a good assessment, man. I love it, though. TCU they came into this game, and the one thing when I listened to the post game, Sonny Dykson said that, man, this stuff been working all year long. We had the formula. The formula was we ran the same formula. We didn't change nothing because we didn't think Georgia was any different. Guess what you learned? The SEC with Georgia and Alabama and some of them other programs is a little bit different than some of them cats in the Big 12 and whatnot. Dude, you did not have your team prepared. For you to sit and say that was how you went into this ball game, you playing Georgia, the number 1 school in the country. I know you beat Michigan and but look, you lost against Kansas State, but you came into this ball game acting like you just gonna keep on. It's like none of the coaches did film study on nobody. You know what I'm saying? You came into this game, Max Duggan, the quarterback, I think had he been properly coached to sit and go against Georgia, he might have would have done a whole lot better. But at the end of the day, he was acting suspect. He was throwing off his back foot. He was throwing balls. He was seeing ghosts. He was seeing ghosts.
Pretty much.
When you see a Georgia, them dudes ain't no little bitty dudes that they see them ain't the same dudes they see against Kansas. Them ain't the same dudes they see against Oklahoma. Them ain't the same dudes they see against Baylor. Them dudes is 2 of them dudes coming at you, and they coming at 4-2 speed. So he's seeing stuff, and he just throwing the ball. Now, the coach stood up there, the coach, I don't think they had that team prepared But not only that, I think Georgia, let's give Georgia some credit. We saw a lot of the on the we want to talk about that defense, man. And that's the thing. There's a lot of people key in on Georgia defense, but man, it was that Monken, whatever name, the offensive coordinator, he throwing dimes. He's got guys. That's why I'm a Tennessee ball. That's why we could not guard Georgia. They sit and they have a great offensive philosophy. Play action. I told you guys this before. Play action with Stetson Bennett is a killer. You don't know if he's gonna run the ball. It's not an RPO. It's a play action. He's faking it to the running back, and if you can run the ball good enough, shoot, now you tackling the running back, and then Stetson Bennett just rolling around. He's catching guys in the flat. He's catching guys deep down the field, man. And I'm gonna tell you, the tight end for Georgia, he was missing for a couple games here recently. Guess what? He reappeared. Man, this guy, he should go pro. He should go pro now. Hey, don't come back to Georgia, man. Stetson Bennett, I don't want none of them cats come back because I'm a Tennessee guy. But look, man, this was 65. Was it 65? It could have been
65 to 7.
65
look,
to 7.
This is a championship game. Thomas, I seen where you texted, you tweeted, or whatever, that this was the most non-competitive game. You know what? This falls back to on the committee on selecting who should be in the playoff. TCU, it was a question mark. Guess what? It showed up at the end. It didn't show up early, but it showed up at the end. I don't know if anybody could beat Georgia. I really don't. Maybe Alabama, much as we sit up there and talk funky about them.
Georgia should have lost to Ohio State. It was a couple of bad calls away from losing to Ohio State because Ohio State had riddle me this and riddle me that on Georgia defense. So it's not like Ohio State really gave you a blueprint of how to attack their defense. But you got to have, like you just said in your previous statement, you got to have players willing to lay it on the line to do that. You got to go out there and have guys that's willing to execute run routes, pick up their blocks, do what they're supposed to do, and compete. That's the biggest thing, compete. If you ain't out there just to compete, dude, you just out there wasting time. You're going to get trashed like they got trashed.
Right. Look, I'm going to tell you, man, like, it's hard. Like, if I'm for as a committee, Ohio State lost to Michigan. But, man, all year long, I don't know, man. I was giving Michigan a whole lot more credit than probably what I thought. The thing about it, I think those two programs know each other very well, and I think that's what comes into a whole lot of the play. But it almost seemed like Ohio State should have had that second spot. Michigan number 3. Ohio State, TCU 4, Georgia knocked them off. The 2 would have played, and then they would have played. I'm just saying, but this 12 playoff deal is going to alleviate a whole lot, hopefully a lot of this stuff.
If they do it right, yes. If they do it right, it's going to solve a lot of things because you'll have one true national champ instead of going through 14. I still think they should run the gauntlet like they do in the NCAA tournament. Like they do in the NCAA tournament. You got to run the gauntlet to finish.
How many teams, though, Thomas?
Oh, you still start with what? You have to have an odd number amount of teams, right? So you probably start with 13, 11 or 13, and whittle your way down.
Okay, I will go with 11. Because you can't play too many games, man.
No.
Here's the thing. If you want to get your guys ready for the next level, this is what they do on the next level. They got to run the gauntlet. Now, if you can have them running the gauntlet, you good. because like in sports, we always say, you know, the best team on that day wins the game. It's not who's better, it's who's better that day.
Well, look, okay, Tom. So since you said that, now this brings back into the realignment with the Big Ten, the SEC, and the Pac-12. So maybe we need to sit and get that formula. So then I think maybe those other schools that are not, they got to sit and get their own championship too. But you looking at the big boy league, I agree what you're saying, because this could have been a better match had it been formulated like NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're talking about playoffs, have a real playoff.
Right.
You get, like the NFL do, you get each side you get your picks on each side, you run the gauntlet.
Yeah, you getting quality teams.
Exactly. Then you get a for real who's number one for real.
Yeah.
Not
like
who's
that.
number one, like, well, we just picking. No, you're gonna get a for real number one because you gotta run the gauntlet to be number one.
Okay, well, Tom, let me ask you a question. And Jeff Jones. Well, yeah, homie.
Right here, what you got?
What do you think? Do you think TCU should have been there in that game?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
They should have been there. TCU played real good throughout the season. Let me tell you something. The problem last night was they just ran up against the true champions. Back-to-back champions now. They just ran up against talent level that they hadn't seen before. Georgia is a different animal. I told you guys I wanted, I was really leaning towards TCU winning. I wanted them, but I knew they weren't going to win that. I knew that Georgia would win the championship. I said that earlier in the year when we talked about it. Who you guys think going to win the championship? Georgia. I don't see anybody beating Georgia. Georgia's a different animal. TCU ran up against a different animal. They were overmatched. When you look at the size of some of they safeties and them guys, when you look at the receivers next to them, it's like, man, they look little. They look like me. Like they 5'8", 5'7". And they just were.
Hey, especially that corner was guarding that guy, that receiver. That corner was like 5'7", 5'6".
Yeah.
Those guys are just overmatched, man. Georgia has talent it's crazy, the talent that they have, the talent level that they have on that team. And TCU was just overmatched. That's all it comes down to. Those guys were overmatched. And it showed. Come on, 38-7 at halftime?
Yeah.
Well, look, Jeff.
They were getting ran over for real.
Well, look, Jeff, look. Everybody gets an opportunity to recruit a big DB, a big safety. Why ain't some of them schools getting them guys? I mean, come on, man. This is America. We got millions of people in the country. You will tell me Georgia's getting the best and Alabama's only getting, 10, 11, 12 players? How many other players in the country is out there that can sit and play on a team that can shut stuff like that down?
Well, it comes to, like you said with Dion, it comes to selling your product. It comes with selling what you want as a football team, where you want your football team to go, how you want your football team to perform. You're going to bring in players as such with talent as much. You're going to do your best to. Now, is it tough going against top 5? Yeah, absolutely. When you got to recruit against Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, Wisconsin, you're asking a small school to compete with Major League. What are you going to offer at TCU that these big schools don't have? That's where you got to have a selling point for your school. You got to have a selling point to pull them away from the Power 5. If you don't, this is the result.
Look. I'm going to go back to that then, Tom. What TCU had done, it worked all the way up until Georgia.
Well, until K-State.
Yeah, K-State took it to him.
Yeah, K-State, Georgia, but it only happened at the back end of their schedule.
But keep in
So
mind, too, it
you
worked.
shouldn't think that it was all about they didn't have the studs to sit and compete, or do you think they just ran out of gas?
They didn't have the studs, as you said it. They didn't.
Well, I'm gonna put it to you this way. Since you put it there, MJ, keep in mind they beat Michigan, who wasn't no slouch squad. They may not have been 100% across the board, but they were still in a position where they weren't a slouch squad, and they still beat a really, really good Michigan team. I'm not going to knock Michigan because I'm Ohio State, but Michigan is a really, really good football team. They're really, really good. But they beat Michigan on a couple plays here and there, but overall, you've never seen Michigan play from behind all year long. They did something Michigan ain't used to doing, coming from behind. So did their schematics work for that game? Absolutely. Now, did they go into the drawing board and say, hey, Georgia's probably looking at those schematics. Let's change up a couple of things so that they're thrown off. Or did we go in and be like, well, this is working. We're going to run this against Georgia and make it work?
Hey, look, how about this, Thomas? How about we do another realignment and we take the Ohio State Buckeyes, pluck them out the Big Ten, and we put them in the SEC where they need to belong, because that seems like that's the only school that's able to sit there and compete against the SEC.
Well,
if that's the case,
well,
I'm just
yeah.
saying, man.
In the last several years, Ohio State has given the SEC much more problems than anybody else.
In the Big Ten.
As far as the upper echelon of the SEC, they've been giving them the most problems out of anybody.
Yeah, in the Big Ten. In the Big Ten,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As far as championship, playoffs,
oh, yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to see Ohio State in the SEC.
Would the Big Ten go for that? Absolutely not.
Can we push this?
You know the Big Ten is not going to let that happen.
Can we push this?
No,
I know you West Coast the Badgers, man.
No, man, we got to keep Ohio State in the Big Ten, man. We got to keep them there.
They're not letting that happen, bro.
Definitely. Definitely.
That's not going to happen at all.
Fellas, let's talk about the man of the hour. Let's talk about the man of the hour. Now, when we look at Bennett, this is numbers: 18-25, 304 yards, and 4 touchdowns. This is a guy, if you all know, he was a walk-on.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a guy that they said he wouldn't be able to compete. He was too short. He didn't have it. He didn't have what it took. But yet, some years later, back-to-back champion. What do you think about this guy? How do you think that he'll do at the next level?
I'm gonna go somewhere where nobody else is scared to go. Everybody else is scared to go. This is me personally. Yes, Bryce Young put up numbers. Yes, your boy from USC put up numbers. Yes, Jason Stroud put up numbers. But when you look at, if you base everything off the body of work that has been done the last 2 years, there's no doubt in my mind Stetson Bennett should have won the Heisman this year. There's no doubt. They haven't lost a game since the SEC championship last year. And even then, when they lost that one, he didn't put up slouch numbers. So if you want to base everything on just win, dude, hands down, Stetson Bennett. Hands down. Everybody talks about numbers. Everybody talks about percentages. Dude, the body of work and wins. This dude done won what? 25 wins 25 out of 26.
So do you think at the next level he'll be able to compete?
I think he can. I think there's some things that he can work on that he's going to understand when he goes to the NFL. Those linemen are going to be twice as fast, twice as big, twice as fast, and probably faster than what he is going around the corner. So there's going to be an adjustment phase for that. But I believe he can play on the next level, especially if he gets an offensive line that can at least give him a little bit of time to either make a decision or run. But I think he'll be fine. I think so. A lot of people sleeping on him still, but I still think he'll be fine. What you got on MJ?
Yeah, man. I think Stetson Bennett, man, he's been a thorn in the SEC side, man. He's but that's what a lot of Monken calling them plays too, man. They put Stetson Bennett in good position to sit and succeed. They done it with the other quarterbacks prior. Georgia's now starting to be in, low key as it may be, Georgia's starting to be one of the top offensive programs in the nation. You know what I'm saying? And before Lunkin, that was we had got an offensive coordinator from Georgia, and he came to Tennessee, and he couldn't do what he did at Georgia. So if you can recruit these 4 and 5 star guys like Stetson Bennett, which I know Stetson had to go through, the hard way to get there, but you put him around some good 5-star guys, he's gonna succeed. Now on the next level, what Jeff was talking about was this, man. I think for Stetson to be recruited at a high level or to be able to succeed in the NFL, he's going to have a system kind of like what he had at Georgia. He's going to have to be in a system like San Francisco, like that guy Parity that has come in, because they about the same size. Because dude, Stetson Bennett ain't that big of a guy. So you got to have a guy. Stetson Bennett is fast. He's faster than what I thought he was, and he's more accurate than what I thought. He has the throwing accuracy of Aaron Rodgers. He had the speed of this is gonna sound crazy, guy. in a burst, he has a burst like a Michael Vick. You know what I'm saying? So look, yeah, he can play at the level. I mean, he can definitely play the level, but you gotta have a team that they use a lot of play action. You know what? I would love for him to go to a Carolina, man. I think he would do good at a Carolina Panthers. Got a running game. He can sit and fake and roll around the shoe. Yeah, he's not going. To me, he's not going to ever be a starter in the NFL. I don't think he will be. I think he's going to be
injuries can happen, and when you get your moment, you got to have your moment. When you got to perform when you get your moment.
But look, Thomas, you know how the NFL works, you know how the NBA works, man. Even in college, man, it's so much politics. Sometimes you don't fit
absolutely
right side. They never ever give you a chance, man.
Absolutely.
So I don't think he'll ever get a chance to play in the NFL. Now, not as a starter.
Well, he's proved everybody wrong so far, and I think that Stetson Bennett prove everybody wrong.
Jeff?
I think that he can do it. He's 5'11". Remember they said the same thing about Doug Flutie. Look what Doug Flutie did,
your boy out of New
Russell Wilson the same way.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, when you look at it, just look at that. All right, well, fellas, let's move right along. Damar Hamlin, yay, came out of the coma and has been transported to another hospital over in Buffalo. That's good news. Actually watched the game, and there was a lot of celebratory, things that happened at the game. You know, a lot of people with the Damar Hamlin shirts on and signs, and it's just good to hear that he's doing great again. And we just want to wish him well, and that he, you know, as he
game of life, that's for sure.
Yes, as he gets better, want to wish him well.
Absolutely.
All right, fellas, let's do some pick'ems. We got some playoff games. Yes, we got some playoff games coming up, fellas.
Tom Boykin. Pow, pow, pow.
All right, fellas. Y'all ready to talk some football?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right, fellas. Wild card. The Seahawks and the 49ers. Saturday, going head to head. Who you guys liking in that one?
Well, if they stay true to form and stay who they are, San Francisco should win this game. Defense wins championships. They got the defense. I think they shut Geno down.
I don't know, Thomas, man. I'm a little scared to pick on that one, man, because man, earlier today. No, this was yesterday. I played a guy on Madden. Hold on, real quick. I played a guy on Madden. He played with Geno Smith. He was like torturing me, man. I'm gonna go Seattle on this
one. Whoa.
Okay.
All right, Mike Jones. Upset specialist Mike Jones.
He going upset specialist on him.
I'm going to go with them 49ers. I'm going with them 49ers. All right, fellas. The Chargers and the Jaguars.
Now, that's going to be an interesting game with two rookie quarterbacks. That's going to be a really good game. I think I'm going to go upset specialist on this one. I think Trevor Lawrence has caught enough fire to where they take San Diego out. I think Jacksonville wins this game.
Well, I disagree. Josh Dobbs and them could have won that game the other night. Could have, would have, should have. I think the Chargers got enough firepower down the field with Palmer, Williams, and all them cats down the field to sit and win this ball game. Go Chargers.
I'm going with the Jaguars on that. I think they'll win this one. All right, fellas. The Dolphins and the Bills. The Dolphins and the Bills.
You know what? Your upset specialist coming again. He's 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 coming again. Think about this fact, gentlemen. They just played Buffalo in Buffalo and got away with their life. I got Miami with this game.
My God. Come on, Thomas, with that, man. At the beginning of the season, Buffalo was anointed NFL champs. I don't see it happening. This is not the week. This is not the time. Buffalo wins this.
Buffalo will win this game. All right, fellas. The Giants and the Vikings.
Ooh, now that's going to be good.
Give me the Giants.
This
will be an epic failure on Kirk Cousins.
Ooh! Thomas, you ain't been a big fan of Kirk Cousins this time of the year, have you?
He ain't showed me he can win in this kind of fashion in this time of year.
That one make me scared to pick.
Give me the Giants with that one.
Hey, nah, give me Minnesota, man. Give me Minnesota.
I'm with you, Mike Jones. I'm rolling with Minnesota on this one. I think they're going to fold, but not on this game.
Yeah, not on this game.
All right, the Ravens and the Bengals.
Well, the Ravens enter in limping. The Bengals come in on fire. Give me the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm not, man, it's a secret what's going on with the Ravens. It's like it's a secret. Something's going on with them, and ain't nobody really saying much. I'm going to go with the Bengals on this as well.
Yeah, I got to roll with the Bengals on this one. And fellas, Monday night, the Cowboys versus the Buccaneers. Who you guys liking in that one?
Now, they made this bold statement earlier today, and I was listening. It's like Tom Brady is 7-0 against the Cowboys. The Cowboys is going to make him 7-1 after Monday night.
Exactly.
The Cowboys are going to wear Tampa Bay out.
I think I know who Mike picking in this one.
I think we got a guy. I think the hat kind of gave it away.
No, no, sir. Look, hey, I'm wearing this hat and this because the Cowboys represent the USA as far as America's team. I have not been impressed, especially not for last weekend ball game or anything that Cowboys has done all year long. I'm not gonna be a Stephen A. Smith and sit and put the cowboy hat on and demean whoever. But here's the deal, guys. The Cowboys is not ready for the playoffs. They're not ready. However, they will win this game against Tampa. But it's going to be an ugly game. Watch for the Cowboys pull it out on the field.
And I got the Cowboys as well, fellas. All right, fellas, it's been a real one. It's been 234 Sports Talk. Catch us on Instagram, catch us on YouTube, catch us on TikTok, and leave a comment, subscribe. We want to hear from you. We want to interact with you. We want to talk to you. Let us know if you like the show. Let us know if you have a topic that you want us to talk about.
Because we can do that.
All right, until the next time, 234 Sports Talk. We out. All right, peace.